Well, good afternoon. I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times. On Thursday, March the 5th, big news to me today is Elizabeth Warren has dropped out of the presidential race for the Democratic nomination. That leaves two old white men contesting for the nomination. There's one minor candidate left as well, I suppose. It looks like it'll be Joe Biden, frankly, against Donald Trump come the fall. Sad day, really, for me in a way. I thought she was the best candidate by far, and I think America still gives women candidates a harder time than men candidates. She was the best qualified, seems to me for sure. Gave a very high-class remarks at the announcement of her withdrawal today. She's not ready to say anything about an endorsement, and I think that's the right way for her to go. The big news in Arkansas today was the announcement of a new amendment drive. There's a group that's going to push for an amendment that would amend the Arkansas Constitution to have a nonpartisan commission redistrict our legislative districts and our congressional districts. It's now a partisan process, was controlled by Democrats for a year, now controlled by Republicans. They won't want to give up this power. Other states have done this. Polls show that people like to see the thing taken out of politics and have nonpartisan people. A 9-member panel chosen by a 3-member group of judges would seek to do this. Lobbyists couldn't participate. Partisan politicians couldn't participate. We'd have rational, sensible districts. They'll need to get 89,000 signatures by July to make the November ballot. Coronavirus continues to make news. Donald Trump continues to say idiotic things. He seemed to suggest on Sean Hannity last night that you could go to work with a mild case of coronavirus and be fine. Well, of course, it's still infectious at that stage. It's a stupid thing to say, contrary to the medical doctors that work for the federal government, but what do they know against that very stable genius? Arkansas is still investigating whether 2 people with signs that they might have the disease, doing testing to see if they do. So far, no positive confirmations yet. Some 60 people or so are being watched. Walmart, the giant retailer based in Bentonville, is putting restrictions on its business travel because of fears of coronavirus, both domestically and internationally. Elsewhere, more words on the Arkansas blog today. I urge you to take a look about Asa Hutchinson's budget. He's very proud about how little spending will increase. It's a really miserly budget. There's a 0.2% increase in education spending. It's an outrage, really, that we're not spending more money on education. We fall short every year of the Constitution's requirement of adequacy, and we'll fall even farther behind this time. To understand why Asa Hutchinson should be so proud of a 1.5% increase in state spending, nearly all of it for Medicaid expenses, you need to understand that he got a 2.5% pay raise himself, as did all members of the legislature this year. Everybody has rising costs, apparently not public schools in Asa Hutchinson's mind. This really needs some more attention, but I doubt it'll get it. He's building up an enormous surplus because he wants to give another tax cut to the wealthy. In the criminal news department, Mauricio Torres, who was convicted yesterday in a new trial of killing his 6-year-old son in Benton County, was to be sentenced today, but jury proceedings were disrupted when his stepson jumped up from his witness chair and tried to attack Torres. The defense has asked for a mistrial. No word yet on whether that's been granted. The Arkansas Supreme Court today ordered a new sentencing hearing for Chad Kitchell, convicted 28 years ago of killing a child and attempting to kill his mother in a robbery in Saline County. The Supreme Court said the judge shouldn't have mentioned his acceptance of a life without parole sentence previously. He was only 17 at the time. He's getting a resentencing because of a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that you can't have mandatory life sentences for juveniles. He'll get a resentencing hearing. The vote on that was 6-1. Take a look at Arkansas Blog again for something worth reading. Lindsay Miller has talked to a variety of sources on what the Little Rock sales tax increase plan will be. There's some good things in there for addressing early childhood education needs. I'm a little skeptical on the economic development expenditures, but it's a broad Christmas tree with parks at the top of the wish list that would benefit from the $50 million in additional money. It's worth reading. Finally, I want to make a note today to welcome a new advertiser. Say hello to the Arkansas Repertory Theatre, which is sponsoring us. I'm happy to say that I've been a season ticket holder at the Rep for years and years. I'm a financial contributor. I believe in the work it does. It's one of the city's great arts institutions. I'm a longtime friend and admirer of Tony Award-winning producer Will Trice, who's now the Rep's executive director, and I urge you to support them. Go see their shows. It's a treasure for Little Rock. Otherwise, you know what to do. Resist. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.